My name is Q again. I'm a grad student with F1 visa. For those who don't know what an F1 visa is, it's an international student visa that doesn't come with a long-term work permit in the States. So I recently got a job offer from a US company and thought it would be helpful to share some of my job hunting experience with you. And I'm going to quickly go over my background and share some job hunting tips I found helpful. So I got a full-time job offer from a company called Deloitte. It's one of the so-called Big Four accounting/consulting firm. I'm currently enrolled in a master's in accounting and expected to graduate next May. And upon graduation, I'm going to the Deloitte New York City headquarters. And I'm originally from South Korea. So I was a SUNY Korea student. I know it sounds weird, but SUNY Stony Brook has an extended campus in Korea. So I did my first few years there and came to Stony Brook in fall 18 and graduated in May last year, 19. And at that point, I was looking for a job in finance area. And I actually made it to a third interview of a hedge fund in New York City, but it didn't work out well. So I shifted my gears a bit towards accounting and finally got a job at a local accounting firm as an external auditor last year. And I spent my 1 year OPT there. OPT is a temporary, like usually 1 year work permit for recent graduates. And after that, I came back to Stony Brook this fall to complete my 1 year master's in accounting. And like I said, I'm going to the city. And so I try to narrow down what I found helpful to students who are looking for a job. And some tips are specifically for international students like me, but I believe the general big concept work for everybody. And I was pretty surprised to hear that what Seven says kind of overlaps with what I'm gonna say. So I guess, yeah, that there's some like common truth, I guess. So the first one is be proactive. So to be honest, I used to be a really stereotypical Asian, quiet, shy, and nerdy. But I don't think that doesn't help much in America, especially when you look for a job. So you got to go out of your room and meet good people. And in order to meet good people, you got to be a good person yourself too. So you guys already made the right choice because you're here doing this project at CES. Like this, you're doing this on your own time. So go out, look for seminars or networking events like the one we are having right now and get to know random people. And this pandemic, you are more like physically, you can go anywhere. Like I've been attending seminars that's been held in Columbia University and NYU, like last week and the week before, because you don't have to go to New York City yourself. It's easier. And why do we have to do that? Because in the end, business is about people and business don't exist if there's no human. So learn how to interact and you never know what future holds. I myself met tons of really good people, good mentors, seniors at and through Stony Brook who helped me in many, many ways, like writing a reference letter for me. And one of my direct supervisors at Deloitte is from Stony Brook, actually. He did his undergrad at Stony Brook a long time ago. And I happened to meet him through some networking events long before my actual job interview. So I believe that kind of mattered, like that played an important role when I got the final job offer. Yes, I was lucky and luck matters, but there's what luck can help you and you gotta do your part. Like there's something that you gotta act. So be proactive and go meet people. That's my first advice. And second is, it's know yourself. I know it's a kind of cliche, but sometimes we students look for a job without knowing what we truly want to do. For example, some students say, hey, I want to work at like investment banks or hedge funds because they're cool, they pay a lot of money. Yes, money matters, but do you have the right competencies? Are you a right type of person that the industry looks for? That kind of questions you gotta keep throwing at you. Like I said some students, but that was actually me. I looked for a job in finance last year, but wasn't exactly sure what I wanted. Later, I figured out that my characteristics, like conscientious and that kind of characteristics might work out well in auditing. And that's why I shifted my career path from more like finance to accounting. And it is okay to start working without having a long-term career goal, but you don't want to waste your time, and your employers don't want to waste their time. So try to get to know yourself better before you dive into the real world. And what are you? What are you capable of? Or what characteristics do you possess? What do you want and how bad you want it? That kind of question. If money is the only incentive to work for, trust me, it would get pretty challenging later. And you don't have to narrow down your career goal too much, but don't let it too broad and choose the best direction for you. That's the second tip. Third tip, internship. I know Seven also mentioned it. So how do you know what you're capable of? Internship is literally the best way to know yourself and what you want to do. You don't know what you like unless you do it. There are some other ways to experience that, but internship is one of the best ways. And actually, it was on my should have list. I should have had an internship before, but I didn't do it. I finished my undergrad. I didn't do my internship until I finished my undergrad, and that gave me a hard time job hunting last year. But the fact is, but after that, like I said, I worked at a local firm for about a year, and that really, really helped me Deloitte. And it was better experience than an internship because it was a full-time job. But to save you some time, you should get an internship when you should get an internship opportunities when you can. And I know these days getting an internship itself is pretty competitive, and companies look for interns in their senior year. So there are not that many opportunities out there, but give it a try. Even if you fail, you just learn how to write a resume and personal statement, you know, like it's better than playing a role. Like, give it a try. And fourth one is a language. It's more for international students, but so there are thousands of companies in America that do businesses with other countries, and try find them and apply. Also, big companies, they have special departments within themselves for a specific country. For example, Deloitte has JSG, Japanese Services Group, and KSG, Korean Services Group. And the fact that I can speak both Korean and Japanese, that helped me get the final offer. So when you apply for a job, many companies will ask you if you need a sponsorship later. And they will definitely, in many cases, they will reject your application if you say, yes, I do. Only few departments in big companies, they hire international students, and language is one of the qualities that such departments look for. So try to make the best out of what you have. Like languages, if you know how to speak certain language, try to use it as an asset, because it's going to help. And the next one is a certificate, license, or skills like CPA, CFA, Series 7. You know, if you get to know yourself and become dedicated to go to a certain industry, try find out what certificates or licenses or skills people in that industry value. In my case, once I made my decision to go to accounting industry, I started taking the CPA exams, and now I'm like 90% done to get the license. So why I did that is because I know accounting firms, they really care about their employees getting the CPA license. So when I apply for a job, my strategy was to show interviewers that, hey, you guys want your employees to get a CPA license, right? I already almost have it. Here it is. And this strategy worked out well. And it really tells that you researched about the industry and you are really passionate about the working in that field. Having something like this on your resume, like I've passed 3 out of 4 CPA exams already. Like having something like this on your resume is a really effective way to prove your passion rather than just saying it, you know. The last one is apply more. And this is the hardest part, I believe. Keep applying. There are so many ways through which you can apply for a job, like LinkedIn, recruiting website like ZipRecruiters, and company website directly. and you can do it through reference. There are millions of ways, but try every possible way. I really like keeping records and tracks of what I do. Last year, my resume was rejected more than 200 times. I actually counted it. I sent out 253 resumes and personal statements last year. But I made it to less than 10 interviews and got 2 final job offers, and I chose out of those 2. But you will get rejected so many times, and even more if you're an international student because of your visa thing. But stay positive. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. Then you got to change your attitude. Consider a rejection as one more opportunity to write another personal statement. The more you write, the more you learn. So this year, I applied for little less than 30 applications, but I got this final offer with many more final interview opportunities elsewhere. And there's some companies I applied twice, like once last year and this year, but their reaction was different. It's still me and my resume, but what has changed? I believe that's everything I mentioned just now. I spend more time to get to know myself, and consequently, my personal statements better reflect who I am. And I didn't do internship, but instead I said I gained 1 year full-time work experience in the field, and I put them on my resume. And language, I didn't know that there are some big companies with departments that specifically look for international students. This is something that I learned through like networking. I learned it from like my mentors and seniors. They look for trilingual students. So I was able to find and apply for positions that need me. I mean, it's a contract, so they need me, I need them. So you got to find the right target. And certificate license, I had nothing on my resume last year to prove my passion in the field, but within a year, I passed almost every CPA exam, and now I can write it like my certificate is in progress. I'm like 90% done to get it. So I can show companies that I'm working on it. And all these factors help me get a job in this difficult year. So it's not easy at all, but you gotta keep applying. There's no way around it. So that's it from me. And thank you. And you can reach out to me if you have any questions.